Let me tell you a story. There was a young man by the name of Chris, and he was leaving school on a beautiful sunny afternoon. He was leaving school and he was walking toward home. And he walked down the street and he got to a crosswalk that said, "Stop." So he did. And as he stood there and waited, he was just waiting for the signal to be able to walk. When he got the signal to walk, he went ahead and left and walked across the street and across the crosswalk. As he did that, there was a young lady coming down the street, and she was coming around the corner, and she did not see Chris as Chris was crossing the street. She didn't see Chris because she was texting, and she was looking down at her phone. When she lifted up her head, she noticed that there was a young boy crossing the street. And as she began to respond and began to put on brakes, it was too late. And she hit Chris. When she hit Chris, Chris sustained some very serious injuries to his head and upper body. And unfortunately, Chris is now paralyzed from the neck down, in a vegetative state, unable to do anything for himself. The reason why I tell you this story is because the reason that this accident happened was because of distracted driving. So my name is Tamika Younger, and I'm with Central Virginia Community College, and today that's exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about distracted driving and how monstrous it can be to someone that is involved in an accident that's caused by this. So let me give you a little bit of statistics so you can understand how important it is and why we really need to talk about this today. First of all, in the U.S. last year, actually every day, there are 9 people who are killed due to motor vehicle accidents that are caused by distracted driving. And there are about 1,100 people who are injured due to accidents because of distracted driving. And in fact, this makes it even more complicated and even worse. In 2011, it has been calculated by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention that there were 3,300 people who were killed as a result of motor vehicle accidents due to distracted driving, and then another 387,000 people who were injured, like Chris. So I say this to say, you need to understand the importance of this and how important it is for you as well not to participate in being a distracted driver. There are actually 3 types of distracted driving. There is cognitive, there is manual, and there is visual. Cognitive means that we take our mind off of the road. And I don't know about you, but I've taken my mind off of the road before. And if you're honest with yourselves, you will say you have too. In fact, I will go from one point to the next and won't remember how I got there because my mind is somewhere else. And so it's very important to understand that. Also, manual means that we've taken our hands off the road or off the steering wheel as we are driving. And obviously, that's a risk as well. Thirdly, visual is that we've taken our eyes off of the road. So just as a young lady who was driving and hit Chris took her eyes off the road to look at that text, this is what we mean when we talk about visual. Actually, texting encompasses all 3 of these, manual, cognitive, and visual, and so can cause a problem for anyone who is driving. So I'm here to encourage you not to participate in distracted driving, not to text while you're driving, not to use your phone while you're driving, and especially if you are a young and inexperienced driver. Because if you look down for one moment and you hit the side of the road, you may not be able to come back from that. So hopefully after you leave here and hear these staggering statistics, you will no longer be a distracted driver because you will know how devastating this can be. Thank you so much for coming today, and I hope that you've learned something.